What do you think would happen with open borders? How rapidly are people going to come into the United States? I heard an interview on NPR where somebody asked someone in Nigeria, if it were possible to come to the United States and seek your fortune and a better life, what percentage of the people in Nigeria would come to the United States? And I'm sure it was an exaggeration, but this interviewee said, well, all of them, of course. You know, everyone in Nigeria, I don't know that everyone would, but a substantial portion of the people in Nigeria, Brazil, China, India, the Philippines would all head to the United States. You know, we were talking about Walter Williams during the break, and I said, you know, Walter Williams used to say, the poor people of the world may be poor, but they're not stupid. They're as capable of doing cost-benefit analysis as anyone in this room, he used to say, and they do it all the time. So in trying to decide, oh, do I want to stay in my country with no job prospects, or do I want to come to the United States where millions of immigrants have found a better way forward? You know, what's the logical thing? You know, how quickly would it take for the rest of the world to depopulate and come to the United States, given the fact that poor people in the world are rational people?
Yeah, strangely, Jane, your argument against is my argument for. The entire reason why we have these enormous gains from open borders is because a lot of people are right now in the wrong country. They need to move. People in low productivity countries need to move in vast numbers to high productivity countries, and that's what open borders will allow. What do I think will happen? So in the short run, precisely because it's hard to build an enormous amount of housing really quickly, you would see a large increase in housing prices, which, by the way, would benefit any American who owns housing a lot, as well as any American who currently is bailing out anyone whose housing price went down. Worth pointing out. So the very short-run effect is going to be a large increase in real estate prices and also a large fall in the wages for very low-skilled workers. Worth pointing out that many workers in the world are so low-skilled that there are hardly any native-born Americans who are actually comparable to them. Right now, again, people generally think, well, isn't that a reason not to let them in? No, not only is that a reason to let them in, it is a reason why Americans are not going to lose out because their skills are so different that they are not actually competing in the same market as we are. I mean, what would happen is that there'd be a great realignment of the economy. There'd be a big move to people having personal servants if there's this much cheap, low-skilled labor around. Things would change. They would change a lot. But to say that the republic is going to be destroyed by this or that you're worried about this, I just think this is paranoid. Is it possible? It's possible. I mean, what examples are there of countries that have been destroyed by immigration this way? I think it's pretty hard to come up with any plausible example. You're really saying, like, is it possible this will bring down our country? It's not too far from saying, is it possible that our heads will explode if a lot of immigrants come here? Yes, we can imagine it, but it is not a reasonable worry, right? And if it is only a small risk, it is not reasonable to expect 1 billion extra people to live in poverty and misery so that you can sleep a little better at night.
What about the environment?
What about the environment? Good question. So yes, quick version. First of all, there is. In terms of environmental effects, there are cheaper and more humane ways of handling the problem than restricting immigration. Go to any environmental economics class, and what will they tell you can do about pollution? Raise the price. That is the right approach. If you're worried about pollution, raise the price. If you're worried about resource scarcity, let the price go up. So on. Saying that we can solve this problem by keeping people out of the country entirely is not a morally acceptable approach when there is a way cheaper way that doesn't involve ruining people's lives just because they were born on the wrong side of the border. Okay.